21 Rockstar families, and welcome back from Thanksgiving break. I traveled back to Pennsylvania just this past week for Thanksgiving, and there was so much snow. It just got me thinking of snow days and winter, and the fact that, honestly, we only have 3 more weeks until our 2-week-long winter break. So we have so much to do in that amount of time, and so many incredible, incredible lessons planned. And different things with Barrett Academy that I cannot wait to get this started. So it's so great to have you all back. We have a rockin' week ready to take off in Room 21. So, a couple of announcements before I send you over to the strategy session for this week. Tristan Pinkerton remains our rock star of the week. Just another shout out to Tristan for those amazing greetings, that amazing work in implementing the Barrett Academy Constitution into his daily life. So incredibly proud of you, Tristan, this week's Rock Star of the Week. This Wednesday, if you can believe it or not, in 3 days from today, Sunday, Wednesday, December 3rd, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Sutton, and our class have our first family night of the year. This family night is going to be an absolute blast. We're actually it's basically a family game night. And we're also going to show you what our academy time looks like on a weekly basis. So a ton of fun things going on. We're asking every 5th grade family that can attend to send in a pack of hot dogs and a pack of hot dog buns. And if you can bring those in prior to that evening, even if you bring them in up till Wednesday morning there, that way we can have those prepared and ready to go. 4th grade and 3rd grade will be bringing different items for that to make that a success. And just keep in mind, it is for the entire family. We're going to have the games provided. It is going to be an absolute blast, so I hope to see you all there Wednesday night, 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the activity room / cafeteria area is our first Barrett Academy family night of the year. Hope to see you all there. And if you haven't sent in that reservation form yet, you can shoot me an email. You can send it in anytime this week. We just need to kind of have an idea of who can make it and how many, to prepare for. So I hope to see you all there. Now I'm going to send you over to the strategy session, but actually this week our strategy session begins right here with me. What I want to work on first, this week we're really working on adding, subtracting, and then towards the end of the week multiplying decimal numbers. Now, a lot of the scholars took a pretest for me before Thanksgiving break, and they really had down adding and subtracting decimal numbers, which is great. That was a 4th grade concept that they were supposed to come to have mastered. Now we're going to take it up a notch. This week we're beginning an incredibly fun activity called Shark Tank Barrett Style, and if you've ever watched Shark Tank on ABC, you know that it's basically where entrepreneurs come up with these ideas, these inventions, and they have to sell them. They have to get an investor to put some money into their idea. And they go out in front of this panel of celebrities, and they're trying to get someone to pick it up and invest in them. So this week and going into next, the rock stars are going to be coming up with something, some invention, every single one of them. And based on that, they're then going to be able to, they're going to first of all have to buy the supplies, which is just going to be recyclable material from the classroom, create that budget, determine how much it would cost to put that into mass production, come up with that presentation, and actually go in front of a panel of judges probably next week, which I'm so incredibly proud of, or so incredibly happy about. So going along with that, adding and subtracting decimal numbers, here's a simple activity you can do at home if you want to earn some house points. Get ready, scholars, because here we go. So here's my Walmart receipt, from shopping. So if you have any receipt at home, it could be from the gas station, it could be from a fast food place, it could be from a restaurant, it could be a receipt that you make up, okay? It doesn't even have to be real. What I want you guys to do is make a real-life problem based on this receipt, because if you didn't notice, okay, let me zoom in on a small portion here. Check this out, guys. If you haven't noticed, many of the prices on your receipt right here are decimal numbers. Okay, $1.28, $3.47, $3.48, $1.58, $3.98, $1.64, $8.88, $3. What I want you to do is create some type of problem, okay? And as many problems as you create, you can get 2 house points for each one. So let me give you an example. Okay, I got some baby carrots, and I also got some pasta salad the other day. Okay, so my baby carrots cost $1.28, and my pasta salad cost $1.64. So a problem that I would write down, and I'm just going to say it orally right now, would be, I would put those prices into my word problem. So Mr. Right here went shopping at Walmart the other day. He bought a thing of pasta salad that was $1.64, and he bought a thing of baby carrots that was $1.28. How much more was a pasta salad than the baby carrots? Okay, and then obviously that's a subtraction problem. You're trying to find the difference, and that's how it would go. You can, do an addition problem where you take a bunch of items and add them together. Because imagine if you seriously went to Walmart and say that the electric went out, so they had no, way just to scan the items and have the computer calculate the total and different things like that. The cashier would legitimately have to know how to add, subtract numbers, how to make change, different things like that, all involving the addition and subtraction of decimals. So for every problem that you complete, bring it in 2 house points you can add to our board, and you will probably find some of those if you bring them in for our daily problem of the day, which would be awesome as well. Okay, now I'm going to send you over to the web-based portion of the strategy session, and I'll see you guys on the other end. Okay, Room 21 Rockstars, so this week we are continuing our computation of decimal numbers, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing is what we're going to add into the mix this week. So I wanted to start us off with this cool song that I found that I thought kind of sums it up, kind of helps you to review the 4 computations that we need to know. Here it goes.
To do it vertically. Now line up the decimals like button in a shirt. Just add or subtract, you know it's gonna work. They don't do math like that anymore. They don't do math like that anymore. Just multiply the number, save the decimal for me. Now count all the places and total them for me. Now move it to the left in your answer, yes indeed. They don't do math like that anymore. They don't do math like that anymore. Dividing decimals is tricky, yes indeed. Move the decimal in the divisor to the end. Now do the same movement to the dividend, my friend. Line up the decimal in the quotient just for me. Yeah, you're ready to go, just divide as plain you see. They don't do math like that anymore. They don't do math like that anymore. They don't do math like that anymore. They don't do math like that anymore.
Okay guys, so I thought that was a pretty cool video to kind of sum up how we line up the decimal or how we deal with that decimal place for each and every type of computation involving decimals. So now I have a little bit of work I'm going to take us over to. First of all, I just pulled this picture out of the Walmart advertisement for the week because I thought this was a great way to kind of practice those decimal numbers. So here are the few things that I'd like you to do with this if you want to practice that decimal computation at home, guys. So in this week's VODCAST, I'm really going to focus on addition and subtraction and now multiplication of decimals. Next week's VODCAST will include the division, just because we really haven't gone over that yet, and I don't want you to be doing it in an incorrect manner. So we're going to stick with addition, subtraction, and multiplication for the week. So all I want you to do is choose one item in this advertisement on this page. So maybe I'm going to go with the Ninja Turtles. Okay, $15.88. You can envision where that decimal point would go. It's right where I put my green mark there. So basically what you need to do in this case is just practice those computations. So first of all, okay, well, you could buy a couple of items. So say you want to buy this, maybe these Legos, and maybe this Barbie doll. Well, how much would your total be? Okay, you could practice doing that. You could practice, say you have $50 and you want to spend as close to $50 as possible. That would be another thing that you guys can do at home as well. And finally, practice multiplying. So say that you want to buy 5 of these Ninja Turtle toys at $15.88 each. Practice that multiplication with them as well. For every practice that you try on here, okay, and I just gave you 3 different ideas, you can do things beyond that. You can get yourself 3 house points for each. So if you decide to do a problem such as this, that could be 3. If you decide to add 3 items together, maybe add 4 items together, maybe pretend that you have $50 and you're going to subtract items from there until you get close to 0. That would also be good as well. But 3 house points for each of those guys. And this is just showing you, you can find anything at home and really practice and practice and practice those decimal computations because it's in our everyday life. Okay, now I have some more just straightforward practice, kind of like last week, but it's still good practice. Here I have addition, subtraction, and finally multiplication of decimals. Okay, and these are just, if you really want to work on cleaning up your computation for each of these guys and figuring out what do you do with the decimal for each of the computations. So for addition and subtraction, what do we do? Yeah, well, we line up the decimal points like buttoning a shirt. I like that analogy that they used in that video I showed you. And for multiplication, you just pretend you're multiplying the 2 numbers, and then you move in that decimal point based on how many places are taken up. Okay, so for each of these, you can get yourself 2 house points as well. Okay. Now I'm going to take you over to the Class Fusion page because there's a little bit more practice additionally than what was there last week. Okay, so let me just erase that +2. If you go down to the class news section, okay, under the decimal computation practice, last week I left you with the addition and subtraction practice, which is still fair game. If you want to earn some house points, you can practice those areas. I would say if you feel comfortable with it, maybe do 1 or 2 problems and then move on to the multiplication section. But I have the IXL site available that includes the multiplying decimals. I'll give you 1/4 of a house point for each of these problems if you show your work. So 0.25 points per problem, okay, if you complete these. Bring them in showing your work nice and neat using the lines of the paper, guys. So 25 hundredths or 1/4 of a house point for each of those that you complete. Once again, that's kind of working on cleaning up your computation. I found another game here. It's called Fun Brain. If you click on it, it's actually a lot of fun. So basically, you have some decimal computation here. You enter your answer, you hit go, and then your man actually advances down the football field, which I thought was kind of cool. It's kind of a different take. So once again, for each of these problems, if you write down, show me your work, guys. Practice that multiplication computation of decimals. You can get yourself 25 hundredths of a point or 1/4 of a point. Those are the equivalents. I know you're probably like, Mr. Riker, can't you just say 1/4 of a point? But we're working on those decimals, so I want you to continue to internalize those and say those over and over and over. Okay, now, over in the writing world, okay, the first thing that I want to show you is the writing fix of the week, which is a little different this week. Typically, there's a picture here, but as the directions state, I want you to find these forms of figurative language in your daily reading. So whatever you're reading 30 minutes of every night, find an example of a simile or a hyperbole or alliteration. Okay, some of these you might not know what they are yet. We're covering those this week. And then you just have to list an example. So write down what you found, write down the type of figurative language that it is. And finally, number 3, this is the important one. Write down, what does this example really mean? What did the author really intend? Each example that you bring in with those 3 things listed, you will get 1 1.5 house points, 1 5/10 house points. Okay, so that's, think now. I want you, as you're reading, I want you to try to pick out that figurative language as you go. I think it's going to make you a stronger reader if you do so. Okay, but get down to the meaning. What did the author really intend when he said the house was as big as an elephant, or something like that? Okay. Finally, there's a few other examples. Later in the week, I'll explain this idiom practice because we haven't gotten to idioms quite yet. But if you click under class news, there are some really cool idioms that are available on this site. And when later in the week, when we learn about idioms, you can complete those for 2 house points each. But in the meantime, right now, it probably wouldn't make too much sense, but I put it up there anyway because about Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, we'll be covering some idiom work in class. And finally, Science this week, we have so many cool labs in class that I thought, man, it would be really cool if you want to do a little application at home. So first of all, under the class news section, under Matter videos, there are some really cool videos for each of the concepts we're covering in class this week, okay? So say that you want to work on the properties of matter. Well, you can hit go to the activity, and you actually get taken to a video, and they include some interactive games as well with that to kind of sum up our learning there, and you can test yourself on those concepts. I thought that was really cool. So say, tomorrow we're working on solids, liquids, and gases, the 3 phases of matter. So if you watch those and you write me a summary or you show me the work that you completed with them, you can get 5 house points per video, which is a pretty good sum. Okay, and finally, if you want to even go beyond that, I have this website here, States of Matter Home Experiments. These are some really, really cool experiments that you can perform at home with everyday materials, which is really, really cool. So here they all are. If you choose one of these and do it, bring in the results, you'll get yourself 10 house points. Okay, so you decide which one you want to do, and there's 3 pages of them, so you can flip through when you click that link. This is just a way to kind of apply that science in the home, guys. Now, your hashtag for the week is going to be hashtag Decimal Mayhem. Hashtag Decimal Mayhem. You will get yourself 5 house points if you come and tell me hashtag Decimal Mayhem, but you got to have some passion when you tell me it. Okay, guys? Now I'm going to send you back over to Mr. Riker. Okay, Room 21 Rockstars and Rockstar families, I hope that those strategies were successful to you. I hope to see all of you at our first family night this Wednesday night, 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the activity and room and cafeteria. Family game night. I am so incredibly excited. If you guys ever have any questions, comments, concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me, email, cell phone. Always stay up to date on our class Twitter account, @RikerdRock, our weekly VODCAST, our class fusion page, all of those great resources. You guys are the best families in Stafford County, and I hope to see you Wednesday night or next week on